Going the distance with local sports. This is the X Sports Network.
There's a reason owners Tyler and Cindy McDowell chose the name In Service for their towing business. They did because it's their goal to be in service for you on the day that you need them the most. In Service Towing is now known far and wide for their response time because minutes matter when you're broken down. Or their 24/7 availability, you can call them anytime for service. Their professional team with years of experience and their fairness, plus their know-how in dealing with the unexpected. But the thing that In Service is known best for is how they treat their customers, and that's like family. When you need them, call them 931-843-9098.
Jack Davis Insurance, located at 201 West Gain Street in Lawrenceburg, has you covered through life's obstacles. Jack Davis specializes in group insurance for businesses and institutions of all sizes. With coverage for life, accidents, cancer, critical illness, short-term disability, dental, and vision, Jack Davis can customize a plan to meet every need. Now available Medicare plans for seniors. Contact Paige Davis at 931-492-9284 today for Medicare Supplement, Medicare Advantage, and prescription drug plan insurance. Serving Lawrence and surrounding counties since 1987, call the team at Jack Davis Insurance today at 931-242-5225.
At Lawrenceburg Federal Bank, we're proud to be locally owned and operated because we're not just a bank, we're family. When you call, you'll be greeted by a friendly representative who's ready to discuss your banking needs, as well as offer our competitive rates on CDs and money market accounts. Our loan decisions are made in-house and never sold to a secondary market because our commitment is simple. You matter to us. At Lawrenceburg Federal, we offer all the conveniences of larger banks with a personal touch. Join us at Lawrenceburg Federal Bank, where community, trust, and service come together.
LUS is committed to our customers, from providing and maintaining energy-efficient utility services to friendly, helpful customer service. LUS is there. At LUS, we're always challenging everything we know, every day. We strive to improve efficiency and reliability while focusing on our responsibility to our customers and the community. It's our promise to provide dependable service to our customers every time. Because we don't just work in Lawrence County, we live here too.
At C&B Linen, fast, friendly, and reliable service is our promise to you. Because you're not just a customer, you're family. From multi-use linen to branded floor coverings and a complete range of cleaning supplies, C&B Linen is here to make sure you have everything you need. From our high-quality products to our fast, friendly, and reliable service, you'll experience the difference with C&B Linen. Because you're not just a client, you're part of our family. You'll be winning with C&B Linen.
Going the distance with local sports. This is the X Sports Network.
And welcome everybody here to X Sports Live, brought to you by C&B Linen. AJ Good here with Michael Marks. And Mike, it's wild. Yesterday we were just recapping what happened last week at the state tournament, and everything all the great successes our local teams have. And now we're right back to just literally flipping the page, because we are going right into the fall season coming up.
Yeah, I would say it. We kind of joke about how it feels like you go from football right to basketball, right to baseball. Yeah. As soon as baseball's over, you do have the little bit of a break with the summer break, but people go right into playing volleyball, like we said, at the end of July, early August, and we got to hit the ground running. So there really isn't an off season around here. Yeah, and one thing I kind of want to get into right now, which we don't have our volleyball schedules yet. But we do have our football schedules for the upcoming year. So, we're going to try our best to talk about, local sports as much as we can until we get up there. It's going to be kind of hard at times, but we'll try to continue it up to the best that we can. But I'm looking at, we're starting right off of Lawrence County. So, your first 3 games, and you can really, when you look at it, your first 5 games, if not 6 games, are all rivalry games that they have had for a long time. You start off at Summertown on a Friday night. Next week, you come in, you face Loretta. The next Friday, you go to Giles County. The next Friday, Spring Hill comes to town, followed by Columbia, then followed by a road trip to Tullahoma. Now, they're all there's only one Thursday night game guaranteed, obviously, that can change. We saw that a lot. They had 2. Yeah, that's right. Tullahoma and James Lawson. And right now their game at James Lawson to end the year. Back-to-back road games. Out of the bye week, they get Dixon County, Franklin County and home. Then they end the season at Lincoln County and James Lawson. And it's last year's schedule, just a couple teams flip-flop here and there. But your first 6 games are rivalry games. And for a team that did a lot a year ago, these are 6 really good tests, because Tullahoma's bringing a lot back from last year's team. Columbia Central's going to be down a little bit. They had a really talented team. Spring Hill, they're bringing a lot back that from a team that I know you went up 21-0 on them, but they stormed back and made that game close. Giles County's losing some. Summertown's losing some, but they're also bringing a lot back. Loretta's bringing a lot back. These first 6 games for them, with 3 of them only 2 of them, right? 2 of them being region games, are going to be big. It's kind of going to set the table, because right after that, you've got 2 more region games after that, and 2 more non-region games on the schedule. Yeah, always for Lawrence County, you love getting to start the season with Summertown and Loretto. Obviously, you have 1 away, 1 home, kind of how the things work out, but like you mentioned, AJ, that really, until you hit that bye week, it feels like it's all rivalry games. It's all different, interesting matchups. I believe Spring Hill and Tullahoma are the only region games out of those, but Columbia, Giles County,
Columbia
and Tullahoma.
Yeah.
But still, Spring Hill, Giles County, Loretto, and Summertown all provide challenges themselves.
Yeah, and it's going to be fun there, because I believe, if I'm looking at on their schedule, 7 of the 10 teams made the playoffs last year. 6 of the 7 won a playoff game. Last year. Yeah. And you beat a lot of these teams. So, it's out there for the taking again. Your goal now, and the way this new region kind of sets up for Lawrence County is don't finish last. Yeah. It worked out for them pretty well last year, because, you don't
want to end up going to Knoxville.
Yeah. That Bristol would have been better as far as a, matchup goes. But, and I keep thinking, should have beat Tullahoma. You have Lincoln County on the ropes. Columbia, they just beat you, is what it is right there. But, those 2 games, and you got to go to Lincoln County, where they've had success as of late. They're losing a lot off that team. But they're always going to be tough. Yeah. All of these teams, there's just nothing I'm looking at. There's no gimmies. Again, James Lawson was a team that they did not play well against at all, and won comfortably. Yeah.
But again, it's a new year. Things can change.
And things can change. And high school kids, we don't know really what we have back. We don't really know what they have back.
And that's the big thing, because now we have a high school, sort of high school transfer portal that I would assume, I guess, opens up yesterday, today, whatever. So I don't know how much it'll affect around here, but you probably have some kids picking up and changing schools here.
And by the time you actually get to those teams, who knows how injured they're going to be, or how supposedly injured they're going to be, or how much they're going to let on and not let on, all of those things. So all of that is up in the air. We look at Summertown. Loretta's schedule here, open up at Cornersville, never an easy place to play. That team was really good last year before the injuries. The injuries, speaking of, they were the best team in that region till the injury bug hit them, and they didn't make it, did they?
They were right around 500. I don't know if they ended up making the playoffs or not.
But then, you start off 3 straight on the road, Cornersville, Lawrence County, Lewis County. Then you get Scotts Hill and Collinwood, both the games you won a year ago. Then you get Decatur, Riverside, and home. Then you're at Summertown. Love having that game on a Thursday, that first day in October. I love that, followed by the bye week, fair week on top of all of that. Then you're home versus Adamsville, home versus Bolivar Central, then at Mount Pleasant to close out the schedule. And it's same one from a year ago. Nothing.
I would say that's when we were talking to head coach Bryce Glass a couple of weeks ago, me and Kevin, where he's like, it's pretty much just this last year, but flipped.
Yeah, just flipped. But you're getting you get Adamsville.
Well, you get Adamsville, Riverside, and Scotts Hill.
And Scotts Hill and Bolivar Central all at home.
That was some road trips last year. I got really, really comfortable on 64 heading west.
Yeah, you asked me a lot. Hey, can we shoot this early?
Yeah,
sure.
It's like I got to be in Bolivar at 6, and that's that was not a short drive.
Gosh, I've made that trip out there a lot for a lot of things this year. But
I was about to say, I think I've gone 64 pretty much almost all the way to Memphis and now all the way to Chattanooga with having to go. Did a couple games at Franklin County, so been all over the place.
Yeah, we know these roads very, very well. And doing the junior colleges, I really know these roads really well. But you look at this schedule, obviously, Lewis County is going to be tough.
They're going to be tough.
Very tough. Cornersville is going to be tough. Even when they're down, they're tough. Scotts Hill and Collinwood. Collinwood's got a new coach.
Yes. A former Loretto coach.
On top of that. New coach, and those kids play hard. I don't care who their coach is. Yeah. Those kids come at you. They play hard. You know how good Decatur Riverside was down last year, and those are some hard games to win. Obviously, Summertown is up there. Adamsville, that was a game that
Loretto and Summertown hung around in, and Adamsville lost a lot of seniors last year, so that could be a winnable game.
Yeah, Bolivar Central was
very winnable game. That was a very winnable game.
You're in it. And Loretta brings a lot of these kids back.
And that's a big thing. Last year it was a lot of new because you lost a lot of the kids from the year, a couple of years ago when you had 4 or 5 straight playoff appearances. Then you lose all those kids. You get a new head coach. Yeah. So you were gonna have some growing pains in year 1. I'm really curious to see what the leap is from year 1 to year 2.
Yeah, I can't wait to see. We love Bryce. Bryce works really, really hard at that, and no, that was a tough first year for him.
Yeah.
But it's all growing pains, and we've got faith that Bryce is going to work hard at it and get right back to it. On the Summertown side of it, they start off home versus Lawrence County in the first time the Wildcats come to the new digs over there. So get there early.
Yeah.
I think I'm just going to hang out right after school ends, make sure I get a decent parking spot, or I'll just park by the high school and walk over. Everyone,
I'd say I'm actually kind of excited to be playing at Summertown this year to get to see the new field in person for the first time.
Yeah, and I don't have to produce, so that's one thing on top of it. Gotta love when
we love when Will can come around.
And of course, every Lawrence County person is like, "Is the drone coming out?" I'm like, "Yeah, probably." Just give them some time. But they're home versus Lawrence County, and then they have 4 straight on the road at Wayne County, at Cascade, out Mount Pleasant, out Scotts Hill before they come back with Lewis County, Loretta, the bye week, home versus Richland, which
that's a unit.
They're going to be good.
Yeah.
They're going to be really good. Their quarterback, who's a stud, just a sophomore, they're going to be really good at Riverside, then back home versus Adamsville. But I think that those first 5 games, you go into Lewis County and whatnot. Lewis County is in that region.
Yes.
Okay, I thought so. I didn't want to
It's
things have changed so much.
Well, that's what confuses me, because Lawrence County and I mentioned Columbia, they are not even in the same classification in other sports, but they're in the same region in football. And then like the Cascades and the communities aren't in the region. Adamsville is, and you got some of the teams like that. You have the West Tennessee teams in some sports, East Tennessee in other sports. It doesn't make any
Lewis
sense.
County's not in your district, but Forest and Cascade are basketball and baseball, because that makes all the sense in the world.
Gotta love it.
Just there's so many rants we can go on about the TSSAA, whether it's how poorly drawn your some of your districts are. Like some of them, like
that makes sense.
Understand it from the Lawrence County. We're so far away as far as the Wildcats go from like where do you put them, because they got to be in a certain classification group, and it is what it is. Giles County, Marshall County, Franklin County, and Tullahoma is what it is. Football-wise, it is what it is. But those first couple regions they were in football when I first got here,
those are rough.
I mean, literally, like we had a region that touched the Alabama line all the way to the Kentucky line.
Yeah, I would say you had all those Nashville and North Nashville area
and we
schools.
were literally passing 5A school, 4 and 5A schools
on the way to go play
to get there, and like it just no sense.
That's my favorite thing, is seeing like Loretto and Summertown when it comes to baseball and basketball. They're in a district with with 3 teams from a county that doesn't even border Lawrence County. You have to go through a couple other counties to get to Bedford County. So it is what it is, but hey, more driving for us. I love it.
Yeah, Tennessee loves gerrymandering things, from what I've learned.
I would say not only sports.
Here. Yeah, but anyways, back to Summertown. New head coach coming in, Coach Busby. Speaking of former Loretta coaches, he's back at it. He does return a good group. He'll have his quarterback back, have some big guys back. Speaking of a team that was just snake bit by injuries. I think they're one of the top 3 teams in that region if injuries didn't compile.
And maybe even number 2, right behind Lewis County. I know Adamsville was really good last year, but Summertown was right there with all those teams.
And they were, I think, leading at Adamsville in the second half of that game.
And then you just wait, and late in the third quarter, in the fourth quarter, the injuries would pile up, and the lack of depth from some of those injuries would pile up, and it was a real struggle down the stretch. But again, if they can stay healthy, look out, this Eagles team could be dangerous.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm looking. it's crazy. I don't know what Summertown and Loretta's jamboree schedule. Lawrence County's got Lauderdale County at home the Thursday before. Yeah, we don't know about Loretta and Summertown. They all play a bunch of scrimmage games.
They typically will play. I mean, sometimes they're at the same place, same jamboree. So we'll see about that.
Yeah, and I think Lawrence County had Page and Marshall County last year in some scrimmages. So Page state champion.
Yeah, really good team.
They're just good at everything over there. But and then once we get the volleyball schedules, which Kevin's working really hard and trying to get those right now, we'll kind of get a gauge on what we know the regions or the districts. No, they are regions. No, the
districts still.
The districts that Lawrence County, Loretto, and Summertown will face off against, so we kind of know what we're about to get into with all of that. But coming up next, Mike, we'll take a look at the NCAA tournaments. I know the pitching situation that's going on. Lady Vols will start the College World Series tomorrow night, and plus a lot of stuff coming out about college football expansion. Got a lot of coaches opening their mouths, and be careful what you wish for, boys. You just might get it, and it might not be exactly what you think it is. But we'll discuss all that when we return here on X Sports Live, brought to you by C&B Linen.
Are you looking for a non-factory job environment? Livingstone Freight Solutions is a 3PL company that began managing warehouses in Tennessee, Alabama, and Mississippi. With our multiple shifts and experienced management team, our goal is to give you, as an employee, a safe family work environment and competitive wages. We offer a wide variety of employment opportunities from forklift drivers to management level positions. We also strive to offer a competitive benefit package and PTO options. For more information or to apply, visit us at livingstonefs.com or give us a call at 931-269-3255.
Being raised in Tennessee, we believe in the importance of family and community. Creating a positive experience at our family-owned and operated business is one of the ways we share that belief.
Being in an accident can be extremely stressful. When it came time for my repairs, Mashburn's made it easy.
I am lucky to have a wonderful company in my community like Mashburn's Collision Center. It's reassuring to know that I'm in good hands because their work is second to none.
We pride ourselves that the Mashburn name is one of the most trusted in Lawrence County since 1981. Mashburn's Collision Center. Let our family take care of yours.
Shop McMaster's Home Gallery for furniture, appliances, and more. And shop quality, shop convenience, shop service, shop local. A family-owned business with a long history of serving the region. We're a one-stop home furnishings destination. We feature brands you know, competitively priced, backed by professional installation and service. You can trust that we'll take good care of you before and after the sale. For your home, shop smart. Shop McMaster's Home Gallery today.
Got primary care? Find your way to better health with primary care by One Stop Medical. With decades of combined experience, you'll find a one-on-one relationship just like the old days, but with the convenience and technology of today. When One Stop Medical does primary care, it's the best. Call today for an appointment and find your way to healthy living. Serving Lawrenceburg, Pulaski, and Hohenwald. Phone 931-244-8220. Primary care by One Stop Medical at its best.
From our humble beginnings to today, Parks Lumber Company has continuously served Lawrence and surrounding counties for over a century. Although we started as a small lumber yard in 1896, we have grown to include everything you need to make your dream project come to life. No matter your building needs, our experienced staff will be with you every step of the way to ensure you receive the highest customer service and attention to detail you deserve. Visit us at 106 2nd Street or on Facebook. We guarantee you will see working with PLC is as easy as 1, 2, 3.
At C&B Linen, fast, friendly, and reliable service is our promise to you because you're not just a customer, you're family. From multi-use linen to branded floor coverings and a complete range of cleaning supplies, C&B Linen is here to make sure you have everything you need. From our high-quality products to our fast, friendly, and reliable service, you'll experience the difference with C&B Linen. Because you're not just a client, you're part of our family. You'll be winning with C&B Linen.
Going the distance with local sports. This is the X Sports Network.
Welcome, everybody, back to X Sports Live, brought to you by C&B Linen. AJ Good here with Michael Marks. Mike, it's tournament time. The Women's College World Series kicks off tomorrow. The Vols, Lady Vols, take on Texas, and it's wild. You've got a 1 seed versus a 2 seed, and then you got a 3 seed and a 5 seed on one part of the bracket, and then on the other bracket, Bama, UCLA, Arkansas, Nebraska, 1 and 2 seeds facing off there. But Lady Vols get Texas at 2:30 on Thursday. Their game will follow Texas Tech and Mississippi State. Loser comes back Friday at 7. The winner plays Saturday at 3 o'clock. So
that's the big thing now. When you get to the Women's College World Series, typically you win, you get a day off. So that's going to be key for the Lady Vols. And you could say they got a somewhat easier draw on the bracket, obviously with 2 unranked teams with Texas Tech and Mississippi State. But you got the defending national champions in Texas as your first round matchup. It was similar. You had Oklahoma as the opening round matchup last year. They were the defending Women's College World Series champs. So it's not going to be an easy first game. But listen, anytime Carlin Pickens is on the mound, I feel pretty good about the Lady Vols' chances.
Yeah, it's, again, not going to be easy, especially when you got all these SEC teams. 5. Yeah. 5 total SEC teams of the 8 that made it. And Oklahoma City, man, I love watching those games just because they look like it's so much fun because they're always packed. The fans are right on top of you. There's just so much riding on it, but, nothing's easy at this point. And just like you said, because if you win, you go to Saturday, day off. You win that game, you go to Monday, day off, and then and you might have to play 2 on that Monday as well. And then if you win that, you get a day off before
The finals.
The finals. I mean, winning's imperative. Losing doesn't hurt you. And softball's different than baseball because you don't have to worry about arms and that sort of stuff. But, you certainly don't want to drain your starters.
No, definitely not. And that would be the one thing I feel good about the Lady Vols is they have 2 or 3 ladies that you could throw out there that were first-team All-Americans with Sage Marjeko and Carlin Pickens. So you feel pretty good about the 2 arms that they got. But, man, these are – even down to Mississippi State. That is 3 really good teams on your side with you, so it's not going to be easy. Mississippi State was one of those SEC teams that beat you earlier in the season, so it's not going to be easy for the Lady Vols. The Bats are definitely going to have to wake up because that has been what's been their bugaboo here in the later parts of the season is putting runs up.
Yeah, and baseball-wise, the Vols in East Carolina not throwing their aces in the first game on Friday. Gutsy call, Mike, or are they playing for the long haul? Here.
Well, you got 2 really smart coaches, obviously. With Elander, it's in his first year, but the guy at East Carolina's been there for forever. It feels like, and both teams have really good aces. I mean, I think if you're getting Tegan Coons versus I think Connor Norby is his name, you're getting 2 of the better arms in the country. Both pitching off Evan Blanco versus Ryan Towers because you win that game, you got North Carolina waiting behind you, and it feels like they're Saturday, Sunday guys. Any of them are as good as any other team's aces. So both teams trying to prepare for that second game against North Carolina, but they're going to have to beat one of them's going to have to win the first game first.
Yeah. North Carolina throwing. I don't think they'd be throwing their ace against VCU.
Assume, but nothing would shock me anymore.
Yeah, but I'm sure VCU's might throw out their best in that game and just say, see if we can steal one.
Exactly. Yeah, and that is a curious thing. I'm sure. I'm sure VCU will put their ace out there, and hey, who knows? This could be the 4 seed. This could be the 4 seed because it feels like every year there's always one somewhere that comes out of nowhere that wins a game they shouldn't. Maybe it's VCU this year.
And North Carolina, when they've hosted a lot over there in Chapel Hill, and none of them have been easy.
No, I would say I can remember an LSU went out there a couple of years ago, I think in 2024, and that was a crazy regional. UNC a little down last year, but man, they're right back up this year.
Yeah, and also good for the Vols, and that ball jumps.
Yes,
at that place.
Well, that was the one thing I was excited about was getting an ACC park. They joke about how small the Tennessee ballpark is. ACC ballparks, I mean, they're all softball fields realistically. I mean, they're not very big, so that will favor Tennessee a little bit more trying to play long ball. But that is another reason I'm a little curious about Evan Blanco on the mound to start. He's given up 17 home runs this year. A lot.
Yeah.
10 of those in his last 5 starts. And 3 of those 5 have been multi-home run games. So you would like to throw an arm out there that's not going to get hit as hard. But Blanco has thrown the most innings on the team, and he's the guy you would feel most confident with out there as a number 2 kind of starter.
Okay, all right. Well, let's move ahead to what everyone's been talking about, which is college football expansion. They're trying to figure out. Basically, from what I'm reading into it, everyone's on board for a 2014 playoff, except the SEC. And now
I think it's really just Greg Sankey. I think he is the only one against it at this point.
Yeah. Well, some of the coaches and presidents, including Georgia's Kirby Smart. This is what he said at the SEC meetings in Destin yesterday. I've said it for a long time to our president. Smart said on Tuesday, been a huge advocate that if we can't find rules that everybody plays by, then we should play our own. I'm not afraid of that. I'm not afraid to break away and say that our conference is strong enough to go out and play. Let's see some of the Moorhead. Who's this? Georgia President Jere, I think I'm saying that right, Jere Moorhead, this is what he had to say. I think it would be fantastic. I can't imagine the ratings if that happened. Georgia-Alabama SEC championship last year had ratings through the roof. Imagine that had been for a national championship. I think our fan base is strong across the country. I think we've had tremendous interest in this, in a situation of that nature. But again, I'm going to be listening to the Commissioner. Smart appears to be, this is according to ESPN, in lockstep with Moorhead. I mean, if we could actually function and it financially would make our programs more stable, we could support things financially. I'm talking about all sports and do by our own rules. I'd be all for that. I mean, I've been to this meeting now 10, 11 times, and it's frustrating at times to say, well, we can't do this because of litigation. We can't do this because of litigation. Can't do that or we'll get sued. We can't do that. So,
oh man, that's a lot to unpack, and these SEC spring meetings have been really interesting. John Summerall wasn't an SEC coach last year, but had made the comment that a lot of these SEC coaches feel like they've been lied to, if they've been misled. They were told that if they went to the 9-game conference schedule, and the SEC requires them to play another Power 4 opponent on top of that 9-game conference schedule, something that nobody else with the ACC requires, that the playoff would expand to at least 16 teams, and now they're pretty much being told, no, we want to keep it at 12 after we've already done this. But it kind of comes back to something we talked about yesterday with, I think it was Steve Sarkisian that talked about, the James Franklin getting fired. And he goes, they were in the semifinal of the season before, and then 5 games in next year, he's gone. Right now, every single athletic department, wants their coach to be a playoff coach every year, every year. And, coaches the same way. They want the playoff to be as big as they can to keep their school in because, you see, pretty much nothing matters in college football unless you're making the playoffs, unless you're winning playoff games. Because pretty much if you're not winning a national championship every year, you're not good enough, you're going to get fired. And unfortunately, out of the 138 now Division I FBS teams, only one gets to carry home the championship every year. And there's a lot of good coaches right now. It's a tough world to live in, but unfortunately, everybody cannot win.
And the thing that there's just so many things that just kind of pop out in my head when it comes to this. Number one, if the SEC cannot break away if they do not have the Big Ten. Because the way it's shaping out, and the more I've read into this and the more I've talked to people I know that are in the know on this, the Big Ten is in lockstep with the ACC and the Big 12. And they're in lockstep with all the smaller, the Sunbelt, the Conference USA, and the MAC. They value those schools and those conferences more than what the SEC does. If the Big Ten is not on board with you and making this move, you are making a grave mistake. You really are. Because
all you're going to do is single the SEC out. And that is beyond the worst thing that could happen right here.
Because, you take the, 18 schools out of the SEC away from the NCAA, and guess what? That's more money
for each of the smaller schools.
Exactly. They're going to take, some of the Power 4 schools are going to take some of that money and help fund cross country, tennis, all of that stuff. But,
and then it comes, and what my mind goes with that is revenue. I mean, maybe the SEC would maybe be fine breaking off from themselves because I know, in the South, college sports are king, but I just have a feeling that that's a steady slope down a long pathway that we don't want to go.
And then, Iowa State's president last week came out and said, well, if you want to do it, go.
Go.
Go do it. Because, we know that the grass isn't greener on the other side. You might act like you don't need us, but in all reality, you actually do need us more than we actually need you.
And that's the thing. I think Greg Sankey thinks that the NCAA is just going to kind of wait off heel and foot on the SEC because they can't live without the SEC. I don't think that's true. Now, they would take a big hit financially, but obviously, I think that they feel that they can make do with the teams from the other conferences, Conference USA, SoCon, whatever. I mean, you can bring in a ton of money from those conferences. If you throw the SEC out, I think the only person hurt there is the SEC, the players, the coaches, and the fans.
And on who I'm sure the NCAA is going to be like, hey, don't play any of those teams. And right now, if the SEC tried this 5 years ago, it would make more sense. But you look at it from right now. They haven't had a football national champion in the last 3 years. Frankly, haven't really looked competitive in the playoff. There's been a bunch of blowouts, and those SEC teams have
been on the wrong end.
Been on the wrong, you're right, have been on the wrong end of some of those blowouts. You didn't win men's or women's basketball this past year. The Big Ten did. Baseball, softball, you've got a good stranglehold on those sports right now. But you look at all those other small sports, I think of the small sports like SEC soccer.
Not huge.
Not huge.
Because you look, the ACC, I would say, I'm not sure how much a lot of people know about, women's college soccer. That is the ACC.
Mm-hmm.
They run that. I mean, they quite literally, it looks like
SEC does have their league,
yes.
But
the ACC pretty much runs women's college soccer. You got North Carolina, Duke, Florida State, Clemson, Virginia. Big Ten's really good with the Michigans, the Ohio States, Northwestern. I mean, they're all really good.
And the Big Ten, Big 12, and the ACC.
Well, and then the Big Ten took in all those West Coast schools like the UCLAs, USCs that were really good too.
So the Big Ten is at a much bigger leveraging point because they're winning at football. Mm-hmm. They value the MACs, the Conference USAs, the Big 12s, and the ACC, and they're all in lockstep in that. So if you break away from that,
really, the only thing the Big Ten doesn't have a stranglehold on is baseball and softball, and those aren't big enough revenue sports to be the forefront of this.
And you don't have enough men's soccer teams to create a league that makes it worth it unless you tell everyone to. I mean, you think like the Big Ten has hockey. Mm-hmm. The Big Ten Hockey League is really strong.
Dominant. Minnesota, all those teams.
Michigan,
yes.
They're Ohio State, Notre Dame, all on down the line. They've got Michigan State was really good this year in men's hockey, and they've got a bunch of women's hockey teams as well. Mm-hmm. Soccer's strong. Lacrosse is really strong in the Big Ten.
That's the thing.
The SEC just doesn't have that.
On the grand scheme of things, the SEC's kind of falling behind, and I think that they need to maybe be shown that in the mirror, is the fact that they are falling behind, to realize, hey, maybe we do need to stay here, stick with the NCAA to try to grow themselves, and then maybe move out. But if the thing is, we don't want a 2014 playoff, we can just go ahead and separate and do our own thing, that will kill the SEC.
And on top of it, Kirby talking out of both sides of his mouth, especially when it comes to the SEC, of like, well, we need rules that everyone follows. Like, dude, it's your league that is violating these rules the most. They are exploiting these rules the most. So if you're doing it, don't get mad when the Big Ten schools do the same thing, and frankly do it better than you do. And they're beating you. Not only are they beating you in the NIL game, they're beating you on the football field at the same time. So don't come out and say, well, they're not following the rules. Like, they're doing the same things you're doing.
I was about to say, if they're not following the rules, then he's not either.
Yeah,
that's the thing. Nobody follows the rules, or everybody does. That's kind of the way it is. So I don't like his whole, hey, if we can't find rules that we can agree on, let's just have no rules, because that's pretty much where we're at right now, and we see how awful it's been.
Yeah, and frankly, it's the SEC that kind of started
exactly.
Yeah, stuff 100%. in every sport. But some good news, though, coming out of Destin. So the SEC athletic directors on Tuesday voted to play conference games on the second to last week of the regular season, eliminating what has been commonly referred to as the cupcake games, or the SoCon Saturday. There in the SEC, that policy will go into will start in 2027, the end of the Cupcake Weekend in late November. Greg Sankey said, part of his comments wrapping up the first full day of SEC spring meetings, we never got that one sponsored. He said jokingly, he said, Sankey and the SEC have been talking about it for months and needed to make the decision. Now is the time to schedule for 2027. And if we did make the decision at this point or decline that, then we'd have to make some non-conference date adjustments. He said it was timely. That's why it happened now this coming season. November 21st, Alabama will host Chattanooga. Auburn will host Samford before facing each other the following week in the Iron Bowl. Ole Miss will host Wofford. Mississippi State will host Tennessee Tech before they end the regular season against each other in the Egg Bowl. So the FCS Cupcake Saturday games are going by the wayside the next to last week of the regular season.
I'm cool with it. If you're going to play an FCS opponent, play them week 1 or week 2 or week 3, something like that. Get it out of the way in September because nobody cares about those games. They don't help anybody. I want that weekend before Thanksgiving to mean something. Because usually, or that second week of November, they just feel like dead weeks because half the conference is playing cupcakes one week and then half of them play cupcakes the next week.
And those league games,
I would say you'll get like an Arkansas Kentucky. I would say you don't even get like an Alabama and LSU matchup. You typically get 2 of the lower level teams. So now that they're eliminating that. You have a chance for I think a Tennessee LSU or a Tennessee Texas A&M is around that week slate, so that's going to be a ton of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. To some other college football news, the NCAA has denied Texas Tech quarterback Brendan Sorsby's request to be reinstated as eligible for 2026, even as the school president publicly backed Sorsby's desire to play for the Red Raiders. Amid a complex situation, the NCAA decision, which is in line with precedent, will put Sorsby's lawsuit against the NCAA seeking an injunction for his eligibility for 2026 into further focus. This court date looms Monday in Lubbock County. Let's see. Texas Tech President Lawrence Chovanec, I hope I'm saying that right, also stated in a letter to the Texas Tech community, we believe that the given facts in the context of Brendan's case, the NCAA ruling should be reversed or modified. Chovanec wrote, as a generation of college athletes face a legalization and rapid proliferation sports betting in our country, gambling addiction has risen to the point of epidemic among college-age men in particular. The NCAA's stated mission includes fostering student-athletes' lifelong well-being. They have claimed their goal is to promote a culture of care for student-athletes' mental health. Gambling addiction is a clinically recognized behavioral disorder. Texas Tech Athletic Director Kirby Hocutt said he expected the appeal to be submitted to the NCAA by the end of this week. And the thing that confounds me about this, Mike, he's admitted he's had a problem. He's admitted he's gambled on games. He's gone into rehab about it. The NCAA clearly has rules that says you cannot do this.
Yes.
Especially on NCAA events or just gambling in the buildings, period. Like, they're convicting themselves.
Listen, he gambled on his own team as a freshman in college. That is go ahead and put the stake in it pretty much.
He's already said he's done this. He's already convicted himself. He's already condemned himself. And every time someone comes out in defense of him, like at some point, and the same thing with the NIL rules and the recruiting rules and everything that comes into it. Rules are rules for a reason.
Yes.
Please follow them.
Now, I do kind of understand some of the people defending him because I kind of do feel you go watch a college game.
Yeah.
In the corner, there's an advertisement for Prize Picks or FanDuel or DraftKings. They're shoving it in your face and then telling you can't have this.
Yeah.
So I kind of do understand that because these are NCAA sanctioned events that are being paid for pretty much by all this. So it does put Sorsby in a bad spot because, yes, there is a zero tolerance rule for this, and I am glad that the NCAA is kind of, backing down on this, that they're not backing down on this, that they are going to try to hold strong as much as they can. But, yeah, I really do feel bad for Sorsby because he was a guy that was going to be maybe a dark horse Heisman coming into the year. He had a big season last year at Cincinnati, and now the NFL supplemental draft is looking like that's going to be the next move for him.
Yeah.
Deadline for that is June 22nd, and the NFL has let Sorsby Camp know that there's a window of July 5th through 12th to work out for given teams.
Is he really that special?
He was a $5 or $6 million price tag out of the portal.
Yeah.
Whether take that with a grain of salt, though.
He wasn't even considered the best quarterback in the Big 12. That I know a lot about that league, and there wasn't a whole lot of people talking about Brendan Sorsby.
Yeah.
It just is what it is. Moving on to professional sports, we got a little bit on the NBA side of things. The Thunder take a 3-2 series lead after a pretty good win last night against the Spurs. Game 6 is tomorrow night. They'll try to win that one 7:30 tomorrow night to move on to face the Knicks. But the Spurs are going to try to force a Game 7 and try to get that one on Saturday or Sunday there, which it looks like it's heading that way because neither team can win in the other's gym right now. But Thunder, again, all five of those games have just been back and forth, trading leads.
Yes.
They can never really get fully away from each other. This is just going to be a dogfight tomorrow night.
Yeah, 100%. I would say you had a bit of a slow game offensively for San Antonio.
Yeah.
Obviously, Aaron Fox plays almost 40 minutes, only musters 9 points. Stephon Castle had a good game. Dylan Harper did not play well at all. I think he got banged up a little bit, so hopefully they can get him back. But without him, this may be OKC in 6.
Yeah, and go play the Knicks. Knicks OKC would be a good series.
Would be a
Knicks
fun
Spurs would be a good series as well. How about James Harden? After his team got swept, lost by 43 points, or
37.
37.
So
you're
pretty
right.
much 40.
Yeah. Came out and said he thought his team was the better team, yet they got swept. And on for context, in the series clincher, James Harden, 12 points,
2 of 8 shooting.
and 8 of his 12 points came from the free throw line.
Yeah, in that series, he had 15 in game 1, 4 of those from the line, 18 points in game 2, 19 in game 3, and then 12 in game 4, where, like you said, 8 of those 12 points came from the line. If you want a big game from somebody in a big moment, do not call James Harden.
Yeah, and the bad thing is, the Cavaliers are stuck with him for 2 years.
And paying him a lot of money
a lot of money to do that. I mean, you got to know what you're getting with this guy, and he's getting older.
And that's the thing. I don't know. You can't teach an old dog new tricks. You can't somehow just magically fix James Harden's game 7 performances. But listen, if you're the Cavs, you need a guy that is going to be the guy you look for in game 7s. Because I don't know if Donovan Mitchell is 100% that guy yet.
He seemed to be the only one wanting to play the other night, though. He played his tail off.
And that's the thing. You need 4 other guys to do it. So I would say, I would say he had 31.
I mean, I think that's why I always say a media relations person in pro sports is the easiest job, because no one stops his. No, James, don't do that. Don't do that. No, James, don't do that. Or do like the Golden Knights, like, oh yeah, we lost, so we're not going to have any coaches media availability. Like, your job is and put out some BS. Like, you literally you could not. John Tortorella, he's a former Blue Jackets coach, and I do love Torts, but there's this, like, really, you're going to lose a draft pick and get fined $100,000 when all you had to do was just sit up there and talk about a game for 5 minutes? Literally, like, talking to the press is not that hard. It's not worth what you just gave up, and who knows, that second round pick could have meant something.
Well, you look at it, and this makes me think. Look at Barry Bonds right now. He's not in the Hall of Fame. Will probably never be in the Hall of Fame, and you know why? Who votes for that? Sports writers. And who was he a jerk to his entire career?
Yeah.
Other than teammates and coaches, sports writers.
Yeah, and the only other way he can get in the legacy committee, and guess what? Those people don't like him either.
Yeah, I would say those people might like him even less. So.
Yeah, exactly. NHL-wise, we finally got a team in the Stanley Cup Finals. The Golden Knights, Mike, I didn't see Vegas sweeping the Avalanche, and the closest game of the 4 was last night. But the Golden Knights just got enough, just beat them 2-1, but man, they just thwarted.
Well, with especially Colorado. How good Colorado looked in that series against Minnesota in the conference semifinals, you thought you were going to get a good series because Anaheim put up a very good fight with Vegas, but boy, they came into the conference finals ready to go. And like you mentioned, really other than last night, they weren't close.
No, not, and I thought they really shut down Colorado's offense, who was just scoring at will on the Kings, scoring at will on the Wild, but Golden Knights, they got a lot of talent, and they've stepped up the physicality part of it, which is what Colorado has struggled with in the past, especially ever since they won the Stanley Cup. So good for them. Carolina and Carolina and the Canadiens, Game 4 tonight at 7:00. Big game for the Hurricanes. I don't think, especially with the Golden Knights getting in 4, you've got that 2-1 series lead. You go up 3-1 with this going back to Raleigh. You feel pretty good, but if you let them even this up, you have to play at least 2. And the longer this series go with the physical Canadians, scrappy Canadians team, the better it is, not only for Montreal, but also the better it is for Vegas.
Because it wears that that Carolina team out, and that's kind of what we're starting to see here. If Montreal is able to get the game tonight, this is going to be an interesting series heading back to Canada or heading back to North Carolina.
All right, Mike, well, we're wrapping up another episode here of Exports Live, brought to you by C&B Linen. We'll be back on Friday. We might have the NBA. No, that game will be on Friday anyways. But we'll recap our Exports Awards tomorrow night, 6 o'clock.
Yes.
From 1819 Restaurant. So tune in to see all of our award winners. We'll talk about some of those, and we'll also
We'll have the Lady Vols first game in the College World Series, and the Vol men I think will be playing.
They'll be playing during the show
while we're recording. So
and hey, maybe they just play really well, and maybe they'll be done around the time. Who knows? First pitch at 11.
Yeah,
probably not.
Probably not. These teams are too good. Too good. So for Michael Marks, I'm AJ Good. We'll see you guys on Friday.
Going the distance with local sports. This is the X Sports Network.